Hello everyone, welcome back to the Grown Girl Tarot. So, in today's reading, we will be looking at what labels do you need to shed about yourself. And why do I want to do this reading is because I noticed that a lot of us, myself included, that we have attached a lot of limiting beliefs about ourselves, and especially in our own potential and in our ways where we treat our own dreams and our own goals, right? Like, for example, we want to achieve something, but maybe there is something that is holding us back, and what is actually holding us back is those limiting beliefs that might be holding us back, right? Like, we might be afraid of judgment, but at the same time, we still yearn for visibility, we yearn for people to see us, but we are just so scared and afraid. So a lot of it is really just our own fears, our own beliefs, our own attachments. This is why I really want to get started on this reading and to help you identify some of the things that you might be holding on to that are just not useful for you anymore, and that you are actually here to bring in something more fulfilling, right, towards humanity, towards your own soul, right, to fulfill your deepest wishes and your deepest desires, so you can actually live out the life that you have always dreamt of. Okay, and I would say all three piles have their own ways of, have their own uniqueness, but there is just things that are very different about them. Like, there are a lot of different limiting beliefs that all three piles have been holding on to, but the outcome is actually the same. And what I mean by that is that all three piles, they are actually here to create something that is fulfilling to them, that is fulfilling, and to bring something empowering into the human consciousness, and to help to elevate Earth's consciousness as well, right? Like, you are here to really put out your own creative idea for the world to see. Like, I can see that all three piles, they have their greatest potential. Like, they know what they are supposed to be doing, they have their own dreams, they know what they are supposed to be doing, but a lot of the times it's just because of their own fears, it's because of their own attachments that they are scared of, right, that they are afraid of. And that is what it is that I'm here to identify and to help you to live out your true soul purpose, and to help you to live out your highest potential, because that's what all of you are here to do. Okay, if you are drawn to this reading, I bet that you have a dream here that you are supposed to be fulfilling, that you are here to be seen in some form of way. It's not just in a creative way, right? Even if you are working for your boss, working in a company, like, you are just here to be seen in some form of way. You are here to put, like, either your ideas out there, your potential out there, right? It doesn't have to be for the public to see, even if it's just for your boss, for the people in your company, for the people in your home. Like, you have such influence in you. It doesn't have to be impacting like the entire role, although some of you could be. Like, there's one pile that is here specifically, there is some form of recognition and fame that they are supposed to be achieving, right? Like, if you are drawn to that, that is your soul purpose that you are here to receive. But if you are just here and you just want to do something quieter, like, you don't need a whole lot of people to see you, like, you just maybe just want to influence, like, people that are around you, people that are around your circle, that is enough. It doesn't have to be on a huge scale, right? It doesn't have to be everybody on this planet looking at us, recognizing you. Sometimes it's just your own circle of people. Sometimes it's just your own family. Sometimes it's just the strangers that you meet. A kind smile would actually really help to brighten somebody's day, right? Influence doesn't have to be, say, like what I mentioned, right? It doesn't have to be on a global scale. Sometimes just impacting the people around you, like the strangers that you meet on the street, that is more than enough already. Okay, so yeah, I know that all of you here You have some form of creative pursuit. You have some form of dreams and goals that you want to achieve. But I really hope that through this reading, it can help you to identify those and to continuously work on it despite those fears, and continuously to put yourself out there, right? Continuously to, I'm hearing like market yourself or publish yourself. Publish your own ideas, publish your own creativity, publishing your own, just anything that you want to do, right? Fighting for justice, something that can actually help to make other people's lives better. That is more than enough already, right? Like I mentioned, even if it's just a smile, that can actually help to brighten somebody's day. And trust me, I know how that feels sometimes, like just having a stranger smiling at me and just being so kind, it makes my entire day better. Like I know how that feels like. Okay, so yeah, these are the messages that just come through. I don't even know if they make any sense. So yeah, let's just start. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3, and I'm gonna let you see the close-up. This is pile number 1. With mirror, with who or what is triggering you. Okay. Next, we have the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe. And I really wanted to apologize for pile number 3 because I got like 2 cards for pile number 1 and pile number 2, and I forget to take another extra card for pile number 3, so I really apologize here. And yeah, I just really want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be imperfect, because I kind of missed out 1 card and I'm feeling extra guilty right now for pile number 3. So yeah, thank you so much for tolerating me and for just allowing me to make a mistake. So thank you. And this is pile number 3 because I just finished pile number 3, and when I recall that I missed out a card, it's just feeling extra critical towards myself. But yeah, I really just want to apologize to pile number 3, and thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to read for you. So this is pile number 3, Star Seed, what lights you up? So yeah, you can pause the reading and look at what you are drawn to. Okay, either the images, the words that you just feel extremely drawn to, then you can check them out. Okay, you can either be drawn to 1 pile or 2 pile or all 3 piles that you are drawn to, which is thank you so much for giving your time and energy to me and for allowing me to read for you. It really is an honor as always. So yeah, after you picked all of your piles, and then I'll see you in your reading. See you there. Bye. Hi, welcome back, pile number 1. So in today's reading, we'll be looking at what labels do you need to shed about yourself. All right, so we will be taking 3 tarot cards as usual, and the Walk Your Light Oracle to get some guidance, to get some final messages, all right, before I close out the entire reading. Now, before we get started, please remember that this is a collective reading. Not all messages are going to resonate. Please do not give your power away to me or any other psychics, any other readers out there, all right? You always have the free will to create your destiny. If you do not like, or your intuition tells you that this is not your pile, please listen to it and trust yourself more than anything else. Okay, and if you feel triggered by the messages that you are listening, then please do not listen, right? Take a step back, pause. If you don't resonate with this reading, check out my other piles. If you resonate with my energy, you can check out my other readings, or you can check out other amazing readers out there. All right? Oh, now, before I get started, I'm hearing witch. So you could identify yourself as a witch, right? And witch doesn't have to be like what you see on TikTok or what you see on Instagram, where people are just using like herbs, oils, candles. Like, you don't necessarily have to get all of those products if it doesn't resonate with you, right? If you want to keep things simple, if you just want to have like a piece of paper and a pen and just tear things off and just visualize things working for your highest good, then that is your way of living. That is your routine. That is your spiritual practice. You don't have to be like anybody else, right? Or I'm also getting another message. You might be overly identified with being a witch, right? You might think that, oh, I'm going to have to get some candles. I need to have some herbs. I need to have some oils in order for me to identify myself as a witch. You don't have to do that, right? Sometimes just praying to the universe, you are already a witch, right? Like, who defined the witch? Right? How do you even define the word witch? How do you see the archetype of the witch, right? It doesn't have to be the research that you see online. It doesn't have to be what you see on Instagram, especially on social media, right? You might be overly identified with that you might be feeling really confused. You might be losing yourself. You might not be listening to your own inner voice, where you just want to keep things simple. You just want to strip things down to the most basic level of it, right? Sometimes you just, like I mentioned, you don't need a candle. You don't need anything fancy. You can just work within whatever you have in your home, right? You don't need to be like anybody else in order for you to be identified as a witch. So this is something that you could be, this is a label that you might need to strip yourself of, or you might need to question yourself and self-reflect, right? You might need to ask yourself, how do you view the witch? How do you view being a witch? Do you really want to spend a lot of money on herbs and oils if it doesn't resonate for you, if it just doesn't, if it just doesn't touch you, you know, it just feels like, oh no, it's just too expensive. It's I don't really want to waste my money. I don't want to waste I just don't want to waste my time and energy. Go searching for herbs. Like, it's not necessary, right? All you need is your intention, as well as your own visualization. You can visualize very clearly, right? Either things coming your way or either things removing from your life. I strongly believe that it's the intention that matters. Not so much so on the herbs and the oils and candles, not so much so unless you feel called to do that. Right? This is my personal perspective, and you have yours too. If you are saying that, oh, but I resonate with the herbs and oils and candles, I really want to get all of these things, then sure, that is your way of being a witch, right? But if you feel called to just, no, I don't want to use all of these things, I just want to use my visualization and a pen and a piece of paper, that's it, then sure, do that. Go according to what works for you. It doesn't have to be expensive. You don't need anything fancy. Our ancestors back then, they do not have anything fancy. They just use what they already have. Right? The wisdom gained from our ancestors is not to, you do not have to make things fancy. You do not have to make things aesthetically pleasing unless you feel called to do so, unless you feel drawn towards it. Right? Sometimes keep things simple and as basic as possible. This is what will make you feel happier, will make you feel more peaceful and at ease. It doesn't stress you out, it doesn't confuse you. And if it confuses you, then you know that that's not your thing, point number one. Okay, so yeah, I really, really hope that this message resonated for you. Now let's move to the tarot portion of the reading. We have the Four of Cups in the reverse. We have the Two of Wands. Last but not least, we have the Two of Pentacles. Okay. What labels, what attachments do you have to shed about yourself? I feel like it's this attachment and labels that you feel like you cannot go out of your comfort zone. What does it mean? You feel like you have to do something that you feel like you have to do something that everybody likes or that everybody understands, for example. Right? Or if like the whole world is doing this, then you feel really called to join. But if it doesn't resonate with your soul, then why are you doing it? Why are you sticking that label onto yourself? I can definitely see that you actually have a lot of gifts, a lot of ideas in you. You have a lot of talents in you. I'm also hearing that may be carried from your past lifetimes. These are things that you have practiced before, or these are things that have been passed down onto you by your ancestors. But you're not really fully utilizing it because you're focusing so much on what other people are doing or what is trending right now. And you're kind of like missing out on your own gifts and talents. Spirit is saying that you do not have to conform. You do not need to do what everybody is following right now. You do not have to do what is basically trending on social media, like witch talk, for example. It can be, not gonna lie, it can be quite toxic to a certain extent. Right? Sometimes, like I mentioned, sometimes just the most simplest things can help you already, like just praying. Right? Using your two hands to pray and speaking out loud, or even just speaking in your mind. That's the thing, that's the intention that will send it all out to the universe. Any other external factors, they are all just an additional tool, but they are not a necessity. Right? I can see that there's a lot that you want to achieve, there is a lot that you want to do, but you might be in the wrong direction. Right? Or you might just be doing things that are conventionally convenient, that is not really helping you, or that is not really utilizing your gifts to your fullest potential. Because the kind of attachments that you might have is that, oh, I want to be like everybody else. Oh, I want to feel like I belong, which is totally okay, right? Like, we all want to feel like we belong to a certain group, to a certain state. But if you are sacrificing yourself, if you are compromising yourself in order for you to fit in, then is that really worth it, point number one? Is that really helping you? Sometimes you need to go through things alone. You cannot, you have to go through things alone in that isolation phase. But at the same time, there is this yearning of wanting to belong to a certain community, which is totally okay. And you are going to find your own tribe, but you are not going to find your own tribe by hiding yourself, by minimizing yourself, by ignoring whatever it is that you have been trying to hide within you. Maybe there's an aspect of you that is just scared to be different. Right? You might be very afraid of looking different, feeling different, doing things different, because other people are going the same way and you are like following the other way. Other people are heading this way and you're following this way, and you might feel very uncomfortable. But Spirit is saying that sometimes when you you are here to pave a path for yourself. Right? You are not here to be like anybody else. And that's the thing, that's the kind of sacrifice that you're going to have to make, is that people are going to misunderstand you. And that sometimes you are going to feel like you don't belong, or that you just feel incredibly different. Right? I wanted to share, I was having this conversation with myself last night. I was talking to the mirror and I asked myself too, right? What is it about me that I dislike? And the answer that came through was that there is a part of me that is afraid of being different. I feel different. I do things very differently, and sometimes it just doesn't match what is currently up on social media right now, and it makes me feel super uncomfortable because I'm not like anybody else. And I'm hearing, thank God I'm not like anybody else. Maybe it's for some of you, you might feel really happy that you are not like anybody else, but for a lot of you here, you might be very afraid of just being different, for thinking differently, for doing things differently. But that is you. Nobody is able to copy your path, copy you, because you are you. You are the trendsetter, is what I'm hearing. You are here to make things different. Different in what kinds of way is to allow other people to move their own way without wanting to gain validation, without them wanting to feel like they have to fit in. And you might be feeling in this way that you feel like you have to fit in, you feel like you have to belong somewhere. And these feelings are totally okay for you to feel, right? Like, I'm not shaming you for having these feelings. But it's just, you have to self-reflect and ask yourself, is it really worth it, right? Yeah, I can feel like I finally belong to a certain group, to a certain community, but it requires me diminishing myself, diminishing my gifts and my talents. Is that really worth it? Point number one. That's the question that you're going to have to ask yourself, because sometimes you will feel even more alone. You will feel smaller than ever because you are not being you. You are doing, I'm getting this image about, like, I keep getting this example, witchcraft. Yeah, you are playing with the candles, you are playing with all of the aesthetics, the herbs and oils and all. But somehow within you, it doesn't sit right. It's like, no, I just don't want to do this, right? It feels really confusing. I feel like I'm losing myself in this practice. If it doesn't even make me satisfied and happy and peaceful, why am I even doing this, right? I'm seeing a group of people. They are practicing something. They are practicing witchcraft. And you are following them, but something within you just doesn't feel right. That is your intuition. That is your soul telling you that I don't want to do this, right? Or that I have my own way of doing things. And that sometimes people are not going to like it. And that's not your responsibility to handle. You know that they are not your people. Because the ones, they are very accepting of you. They are accepting of you. You might have different views, different beliefs, different perspectives, and they are okay. They are accepting of that without losing their sense of self. Because these kind of attachments that you have been attaching yourself to, it's really just causing you to minimize yourself. It's not really, like, you are not utilizing your own gifts to your fullest potential. You are just hiding in a ways where, oh, if I'm not going to show my gifts, then other people are going to like me, or like they are going to make me feel welcomed. They are going to make me feel like I belong. But if you don't even feel comfortable and belong in your own body within yourself, then no matter how other people try to make you feel welcome, you will never feel like you are welcomed there. Because why? You don't feel comfortable within, and you are hanging out with the wrong people. Right? So it's very important for you to release such labels and attachments, especially of doing things, especially of following what's on social media versus following your soul. Right? These types of attachments that you might still be holding on to, which is your need to conform, your need to people please, your need to your need to minimize yourself because you don't want to be seen. You don't want to be seen in your fullest light. Because pile number one, I can assure you that once you start standing up authentically in your own power, in who you are, right, in your own gifts, it will start to unleash itself. Because you are embracing your own talents, you're embracing yourself fully and wholly, and you're standing in your own power. And that's very attractive, that's very charismatic. And you get to pick who gets to be on your side. You get to pick, you get to be discerning about who gets to be in your energy field, who gets to be with you. That's your own free will, that's your own choice. But right now you are giving it to other people, whether consciously or unconsciously. Right? So these are the things these are the labels and the attachments that you have to remove, right? That you have to shed about yourself. Okay? Whew. So yeah, I really hope that this message resonated, and I don't know if you can hear the construction noise, and I really, really apologize. It actually happened during my previous reading, which is what you need to be grateful for, and I'm sorry, this is something that is out of my control, and if you can hear the construction noise, I really apologize, and please bear with me. Okay, thank you. Now we are going to use the Walk Your Light Oracle to see some form of guidance, okay, to see some form of guidance from Spirit to help you with shedding some form of attachments that you have about yourself, okay? So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to read for you, pile number one, okay? And let's see, let's take some guidance to help pile number one to shed some form of attachments and labels that you have about themselves, okay? So, we have the ever unfolding rose, cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you, and we have mirror. With who or what is triggering you. At the bottom of the deck, we have get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature, all right? I was talking about this, right? I was sharing this example about me talking to a mirror. Right, talking to a mirror where I ask myself, what parts of myself am I, what do I hate about myself? And the answer is, I'm afraid of being different, and so are you too, pile number one. You might have this unconscious fear of looking different, feeling different, doing things in a very different way, and look, your reflection. It's showing you parts of yourself that you have to face. It's showing you that there may be parts of you that you might be hiding, that you might be running away from, and you are scared to face. Because maybe you're afraid of being judged, you're afraid of other people seeing you in this way, because you have yet to accept this part of yourself. Which is why I'm hearing like mirror work could be very significant. Right? Talk to yourself in the mirror, ask yourself questions, look at yourself in the eye. And how do you feel about yourself, really, truly, right? The shadows that you have buried, that scares the shit out of you, that you're gonna have to face, right? We have the ever unfolding rose here, which is cracked open, allowing yourself to crack open, just like, do you see this woman here? Feels like she's dancing, she's opening herself up, she's cracking herself open. Right? Because pile number one, once you fully stand in your own power, nothing and nobody will be able to stop you from achieving your fullest potential, and nobody will be able to hold any power over you. Right? Because your reflection will show you hidden parts of you, will show you the parts of you that you have shame. And how can you love this part of yourself? So that I'm no longer running away from it, so that I can finally embrace it and stand in my own power. And that whenever you look at yourself in the mirror, not just only speaking positive affirmations about yourself and believing in it is the thing. But at the same time, doing shadow work. Looking at yourself from head to toe. Not in a critical kind of a way, not in a harsh way, okay, but in a compassionate, loving way. But at the same time, uncovering a lot of your fears and your deepest, darkest desires and your limiting beliefs, especially about yourself, to show you where have I still been giving my power away. Right? And we have the ever unfolding rose here, which is showing to you that everything that is happening for you, it is not here to punish you. Whatever you're seeing about yourself, right, even in those that you absolutely hate to see about yourself, I'm seeing tears, looking at yourself in the mirror and crying. And I'm also getting like some of you might have a hard time with looking at yourself in the mirror, and I totally get it, right? Don't force yourself into this work if you're not ready, okay? Don't. If you don't feel comfortable looking at yourself in the mirror, and then journal things down. Journaling might really, really help you. And be really, really honest with the types of labels that you've still been attaching yourself to. Okay, I feel really called to read the guidebook, so I'm going to read it for you. We have the ever unfolding rose. Where is it? Let's read this, okay? Who or what is triggering you? The filter of our own experience is how we experience life 90% of the time. Through our own projections, when someone reminds us of an unhealed experience, we get triggered. Often it's an unconscious thing. People and situations can trigger our mirrors to reflect back to us what we believe to be true about life, about the universe, and most importantly, about ourselves, right? Mirrors pointing to our shadow and our light. Mirrors revealing the parts of us that are yet to be accepted, witnessed, or loved. This card is guiding you to look closely at what experiences or people are currently triggering in you and what they could be mirroring back to you. When have you felt like this before? Could they be opportunities to heal something in you? Or are they shining a light on something that longs to be witnessed in you? This goes for the good and the bad. The good, those who we admire and put on a pedestal. If we do not realize that we are attracted to them because we are like them, we will need to cut them down in order to rise to their level. The bad, those we despise, those we are envious of and we put down unconsciously, right? If we do not realize that they trigger something in us, then it is still yet to be healed and we will remain hurt and wounded ourselves. So asking yourself these questions: who or what is triggering you? What it is in you that they are triggering? What parts of you longs to be witnessed, right? How can you, looking at yourself in a really honest and an authentic and compassionate way? All right. Next we have the ever unfolding. Oh, okay, found it. The challenge of life is to keep your heart open when you most want to close it. To let life crack you open. To open through hurt and loss. To allow what is falling away to fall away. Being human is a courageous act. A life well lived is full of losses and tragedies, as much as triumphs and adventures. Whenever you find yourself at the moment, life is coaxing you to keep your heart open no matter how much it hurts, to continually unfold, to let life crack you open. Perhaps you are going through a difficult time right now. Instead of cursing the difficulty, see it as a blessing. To open yourself up to the truth that perhaps, as hard as it may be, life is happening for you, not to you. And one day in the not too distant future, you may just bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open because the world needs you open. Now is the time to go gently. Yeah, be extremely gentle and warmed with yourself. To treat yourself like a tender, sweet baby. To wrap yourself in a blanket and trust that the mother has you cradled in her arms. The seas may not all be smooth sailing, but you are safe and you are held, right? And that whenever you feel like you don't belong, ask for your help from your spirit guides. Ask them to surround you with like angel wings. I'm seeing like an image of somebody being surrounded by wings of an angel, right? And it's just really soft. It makes you feel like, you know, you are here and that you deserve to be here on earth, and that no matter how many mistakes or how many imperfections that you think that you might have within you, and that it is all a part of this loving universe, okay? One day, not too far from today, you will look back at the transformation and be blown away by the poetry of life. Everything is going to be okay. Let it crack you open, yeah. Let things crack it open for you right now. Let your heart crack open. Let your tears fall so that you're able to see yourself as clearly as possible and to identify the shadows and to identify the kinds of attachments and labels that you have been holding on to about yourself, okay? Whether is it your fear of being different, whether your need to really belong in a community where it doesn't suit you, right? Where you feel like you have to minimize yourself. Don't do that anymore. It's time for you to rise up to your true, authentic power so that you can receive and you can uncover and remember the gifts and talents that you always have. All right, pile number one. So yeah, that is all that I have for you today, pile number one. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you and for being here with me. And I want to thank your spirit guides and the universe for allowing me to read for you. It really is an honor. And I'm sending you a lot of love and healing energy, and I hope that you can continuously heal and to shed attachments and labels about yourself that are not true for you, okay? And if you're interested, you can like, subscribe, and comment if you want to. So yeah, and I'll see you guys in my next reading. Thank you so much, pile number one. I'm sending you a lot of love. Bye. Hi. Welcome back, pile number two. So in today's reading, we will be looking at what labels do you need to shed about yourself. So we will be taking 3 tarot cards as usual, and we will be using the Work Your Light Oracle for the final thing before we close this entire reading. So yeah, thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to read for you. Wow, I cannot speak today, so please don't mind me. And if you can hear like some form of construction noise, and I really apologize for that. I live in a city area and I cannot control such things. So I want to thank you for your patience, and I apologize for any inconvenience, okay? Now, before we get started, please remember that this is a collective reading. Not all messages are going to resonate. Please do not give your power away to me or to any other psychics, any other readers out there, okay? You always have the free will to create your own destiny. If you do not like, or your intuition tells you that this is not your power, please listen to it and trust yourself more than anything else, okay? If you feel triggered by the messages that you hear and you do not like what you are hearing, then please check out my other piles or check out my other readings. if you resonate with my energy, or you can check out other amazing tarot readers out there, okay? So, firstly, I'm getting a flirtatious, a very vivacious kind of an energy. And I feel like you are just somebody that is, I'm hearing like life of the party. So you could be somebody that just loves having fun. You are very highly enthusiastic and very energetic in some form of way. Now I'm picturing somebody who is very into sports. I'm seeing somebody that has a very somebody who has muscles, right? Somebody who has muscles, somebody who does a lot of exercise, somebody who is very into yoga, very into gym as well. You are somebody that likes to participate in such activities in order for you to make you feel alive, right? Like you are naturally a very passionate person. But maybe there are some things that you have been through, maybe some form of traumatic experiences that have made you dial down, or you think that you don't want to scare other people away, is what I'm hearing, because they might think that you are too masculine, right? Maybe you identify yourself as a female and you think that you are just, you don't think that you are feminine enough, so to speak. But that is not true, pile number 2. Right? Like we have both feminine and masculine qualities within us. And who's to say a woman cannot be more masculine than a man? Right? And yeah, these are just attachments and labels that you might have identified within yourself, that you might feel ashamed or shameful for maybe even, I'm hearing like looking like a man as well. Or you thinking that you have to be more feminine, have to be more soft, have to be more compassionate and blah, 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 all of that shit stuff. Don't listen to such labels and attachments that other people have placed upon you. So what if you look like a man? So what if you are more masculine in nature? It just means that you are somebody that is highly independent. It just means that you're somebody that is very enthusiastic, like you operate more in your masculine energy. But who's to say that you don't have a different side to you? Right? It's just how we portray ourselves outside the world. And who's to care what do other people think about us, as if like there's something wrong with being more masculine as a female? Right? That's just bullshit. Don't listen to such labels and attachments being placed upon you. These are just trying to keep women in a more disempowered state. Right? Because Mars energy, as long as we are channeling it in a healthy and effective way, right? We are not using it to destroy ourselves. We are not using it to destroy others. We are not using it as a way to we are using it in a healthy way. And that is okay. Right? We have our masculine energies when we are in a highly competitive environment, for example, right? When you have to fight, when you have to fight for what's right, when you have to fight for your own rights as well, when you have to fight for equality, when you have to stand up and fight for yourself. These are qualities that we need to be able to adapt. Otherwise, we will all just get bullied out in the world, isn't it? This is why boundaries is so important. Like our voice is very important. Do not let anybody tell you that there is something wrong with you, or that you being too masculine, right? Or that you need to let men do their stuff. I mean, it's true to a certain extent, right? If you are in a relationship. But at the same time, is the person that you are in a relationship with making you feel safe? Right? If this person is not creating the conditions for you to make you feel safe, to make you feel that you can just relax and to lean more towards your feminine energy, of course you're going to be more in a survival mode, right? This only applies to when you are in like a partnership, or when you are in a relationship, or when you are collaborating with others. Naturally, if there is a safe environment, naturally when your body feels safe and secure, but at the same time, you still have an aspect of you where you will allow your voice to be heard, and at the same time, you do not kind of like want to overpower the other person, like still allowing the other person to have their own voice, but at the same time, when knowing when to stand up for yourself and knowing when to take a step back. So it's a healthy balance between feminine and masculine energy. So do not let anybody tell you otherwise, tell you to give up your masculine, your manly nature, so to speak. That's just bullshit. Okay, like throw all of that away. All right? Now, let's move on to the tarot portion of the reading. So firstly, we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the Six of Wands in the reverse. And we have the Page of Wands in the reverse. Wow. Valid and trusting. So, what kind of labels do you need to shed about yourself? All right. Yeah. The kind of labels that you need to shed about yourself is the way other people perceive you, right? You might be looking at yourself in a very disempowered state. You might be looking at yourself in a state of how other people are going to think about me if I live my life in a different way, or if I'm not receiving success, or if I'm not conventionally pursuing what society wants me to, for example. Right? Like you might just be really afraid of wanting attention. Right? You might be running away from that. Or I'm hearing another message is that you might really want attention, but you might shame yourself for it. We all have our own needs. We all have times where we just want to be at a stage and we just want to shine. We just want other people to see us, right? Some of you might say, no, I just want to hide in the darkness. No, I don't really want to be seen. But really? If you pick this pile and you tell me that, no, I don't want any attention, I just want to live under a rock forever, is that really true, pile number 2? Because I can see with the Six of Wands here, you have a deep desire to be seen. You want attention. You want to be different. Why not proudly and boldly claim that? Right? Don't try to tweak yourself or change yourself in a way where it makes you more conventionally attractive, for example, or it makes you more conventionally presentable to others in your own work or in you yourself even. Why do you try to hide aspects of yourself? Right? Maybe you are working an entirely different career, or maybe you just think in a very different way and you have different ideas that are out of the box. But sometimes you might be afraid to speak up about them because you are afraid of judgment. So for you, it's that the kind of labels that you need to shed is really about how other people view you. Really about how other people think about you. Like you might be taking other people's opinions and ideas very personally. Let's say you present yourself with an idea and then somebody in the room says no. You might take that very personally. You might think that, oh, that is just a huge insult or a huge criticism to my self-worth, because you are sort of attaching yourself to it, to your own work as well. These are the labels that you have to shed, because you are not your identity, you are not your own work. You are experiencing a human life, but you are not really attached to all of the things which I know, right? Easier said than done, because it can be extremely difficult for a lot of us to live the life that we want to, because we feel like nobody understands us, we feel like incredibly misunderstood, or we think that we are not going to gain any form of like recognition, or even fame even. Maybe some of you are pursuing fame and recognition, like you have a deep desire to be seen for who you are, for your ideas, for your differentness, for your uniqueness in yourself. I don't even know is there a word called differentness, but this just came through for me, so yeah, I just came up with my own. But like, yeah, exactly. Oh my God, like, thank you, Spirit. Like, yeah, you just reminded me, like, you don't have to go according to what's right, so to speak. Like what I mean by what's right is that the word, right, differentness, I don't even know if is there even a word called differentness. Like you just come up with your own slogan. You don't have to follow others like, oh, but that's not in the dictionary. So just because that's not in the dictionary, it doesn't mean that you cannot invent those words, right? You invent whatever it is that you want to invent, as long as it goes, as long as it follows who you are, your core, you feel comfortable with it, you feel really proud and passionate about it, sure, go ahead. But why do you have to deny, oh, this word differentness is not in the dictionary, it is not really invented, right? There is no such thing as differentness. Who's to say? Right? Who told you that? Just because it's not in the dictionary, just because it's not been invented yet, it doesn't mean that I cannot invent them. And I can use that in social situations, I can use that in my own slogan, I can use that however I want to. Right? I invent that myself. But at the same time, still recognizing that, oh, I'm not attaching myself to such words. I'm not making this my entire identity. Right? You might be really attached to your own creativity, to your own ideas, to the way that you present yourself, thinking that, oh, I just have to be this way. Right? Or I'm also getting another message that if you yourself have been what I mentioned earlier, right? If you identify yourself as a woman and you think that, oh, I'm just being too manly, and if you identify yourself as a man and people might think that you are just too feminine, don't listen to such labels. These are just nothing than toxic attachments. Who's to say that a man can't be vulnerable? Who's to say that a man can't be more, feminine, more gentle kind of a nature, more sensitive? As long as they have a healthy balance, right? That's the thing here. As long as you have a healthy balance between your feminine and your masculine energies, you know when you are supposed to be when you're supposed to be presenting yourself in a way where it's necessary. When it's time for you to fight, to stand up. I'm standing up for myself. But when it's time for me to be gentle and sensitive and compassionate and empathetic, I also have that side of me. Right? I'm not just one or the other, I am both. So you might have a very distorted view of feminine and masculine energies, or even just like our appearance, right? Like some people, they might look more, how should I put this? Like if you identify yourself as a woman, you might look more like a man. And if you identify yourself as a man, you might look more like a woman, for example. Why? Because we are both feminine and masculine energies. We have both. Right? That doesn't mean that, oh, like you look like a man for your gender, for example. So I am a man in certain competitive environments, in certain ways where I have to fight, where I have to stand up for myself. I'm using my Mars energy, I'm using my masculine energy in a healthy, empowered way. Not in a way where I'm destroying the world, destroying other people, right? So do not let those labels control you and tell you that, oh, you have to act more like a lady, oh, you have to be more manly, so to speak. Like I have my own manly natures and I have my own ladylike natures too. It's just depending on the situation, depending on who I'm with, depending on how my body feels. Right? It's not just the one right way or the other is the wrong way. That's just like, oh, that's just bullshit. Okay, like this is nuance. So it's to tell you that, your physical appearance, your entire core, it doesn't have to identify with what other people perceive you to be. It doesn't even have to identify with how you view yourself. Because sometimes we can even have a very distorted version, we can even have a distorted view of ourselves. We don't see ourselves accurately, just like our spirit guides do. They see us in a far more powerful, in a far more empowered way of how we see ourselves. That's our ego, right? It likes to come up with a lot of limiting beliefs about us. It kind of wants to not want us to leave our comfort zone. But that's the thing, are you ready to leave behind what other people view you? Like how other people view you too? Because that's the baggage here, is what I'm sensing. You cannot really go so far in life if you keep carrying other people's burdens, as well as how other people are going to view you, because no matter what you do, there will always be people that are going to judge you. There will always be people that are going to tell you to play small, dismiss you, try to tell you to be humble, for example, right? And maybe some of you perceive yourself as this really humble kind of a person. And it's like you might have accidentally perceived humbleness as a form of not humbleness, like you might identify your confidence as a way of like you being too proud. But that's not true. Like I can be confident and humble at the same time. Who's to tell me that, oh, if I'm confident, if I'm proud, that must mean that I'm just a very arrogant kind of a person, I'm a very entitled kind of a person? No. These are limiting beliefs that you have to release from yourself. Right? I'm not just this one or the other. The idea here even is you thinking that you have to be one or the other. You thinking that, oh, I have to be humble. Maybe your way of viewing humbleness is really distorted. Right? Actually, your own definition of being humble is actually just playing small. Or not really seeing your full potential, not even allowing yourself to achieve your greatest potential in this lifetime. You can allow yourself to be proud of yourself. You are proud of yourself, but at the same time, you are still humble. You are confident and humble at the same time. Why do we just have to put ourselves in one way or the other? That's just wrong. We are both. We are both confident and humble. We are both masculine and feminine. We have a manly nature in us, and we have a more gentle and a more compassionate, empathetic side to us. It's just depending on the situation and depending on our body as well, how we feel safe, our nervous system. So don't get too caught up in just one or the other. In some things in life, right, there is a healthy nuance. It's not just whether, oh, this must be true, then the other thing must be false, or vice versa. Don't contain and put yourself in a box, okay? Pound number 2. Your identity is far more than what your mind has identified you with, and even you identify yourself as. You are far more than what you have explored. You have so much that you can explore within you. But you're not really seeing it because you're just too stuck in just one particular identity, one particular side of you that you have neglected the other side of you. Right? Just like what I was saying, like you might really crave for attention and you might feel shame from it. You might think that, oh, I don't really want the attention. I mean, that's true, right? Like you can want the attention, but at the same time, you are afraid of the attention because you don't know what you might get. And that's okay. Like we can both want that thing, yearn for that thing, but we are scared at the same time, just like being in a committed relationship. We yearn for a committed relationship, but we are scared. We are scared of the other person leaving us. We are scared of the other person betraying us, right? These are valid fears. And it's not to dismiss them, but how do you want to view that? How do you want to start changing your perspective? And this is when your choice, your decision kind of tells you what you want to make. So yeah, pile number 2, I really hope that this reading helped you in some form of way. I'm not sure if this kind of helped you, but thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. Now we will be looking at the Work Your Light Oracle, and honestly, I just hope that this reading, I don't know if it makes any sense, so I'm just hoping that it did, okay? Now we'll be looking at the Work Your Light Oracle to see like any final guidance, right? Like how can you release those limiting beliefs, any form of guidance that might help, all right, with the Work Your Light Oracle. So thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, pile number 2, and I really hope that this helped in some form of way. Okay? So spirit that loves pile number 2 unconditionally. Oh, okay. Should I take all spirit? I'm hearing no. Okay. Spirit, can I take a few cards? All right. Okay, can I take one more? Because I've got 2 cards for pile number 1. I want to see that loves pile number, spirit that loves pile number 2 unconditionally. Any guidance for pile number 2 or any ways of helping them to release those limiting beliefs about themselves? Okay. We have, trust your path. At the bottom of the deck, we have dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Okay. We have the great gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits. Soul tribe. Yeah. It's like the 6 of Wands. Your soul tribe is coming, but they can't come if you are not fully being yourself. Right? And that I feel like there are a lot of downloads that you might be getting. And that these are ways of helping you to find your own path, and these are ways that are helping you to find yourself. Right? And just like this question too, if you knew you would be supported, what would you actually do? If you know that you are unconditionally backed by the divine, that as long as it aligns with your values, your goals, your integrity, and you wholeheartedly, 100% you believe that the divine has my back, I'm going to achieve whatever it is that I achieve. You have full confidence, you have full belief. What is it that you're going to do? What is it that you're going to start? Maybe some form of new creative idea, some form of business idea that you've always wanted to start. And it's like there are a lot of downloads that you might be receiving right now that is helping you to start something new, that is helping you to move on from your old life to the next life, right? The old phase of your life to the new phase of your life. Right? And if it's coming together with intuitive hits and soul tribe, like you are meeting your people. I keep seeing the number 1, 2, 3, so that might be significant for you, or that you are just taking one step at a time to meeting your truest self, or to meeting your highest potential, or to meeting the people that you are supposed to be meeting, that have signed contracts with you, that are helping you to elevate to your highest potential. Even spirit guides as well, like new spirit guides might be coming in, right? Like you are consistently educating yourself, improving your knowledge, and for this, new guides, new ascended masters, they are coming in to assist you, they are coming in to help you because they see that you are ready. They are helping you into your next phase of your life. They are helping you to see who you actually are. Okay, so I'm going to read the guidebook. Yes. You are being called to let your intuition move you physically. You are connected to a group of souls who are weaving a web around the planet, and as you travel and share your creations, something is re-threaded. This card is an acknowledgement that you are either being called to connect with others who are like you at a soul level, or that you already are. You are being called to gather groups of people either by leading them or becoming part of a group that can support you and your soul's personal mission. You are part of a group of souls who agreed to be here at this time in history to heal yourself, your ancestral line, and the planet, to raise consciousness so that we can continue to call this magnificent place home for eras to come. One of many consciously choosing to devote your life to something greater than yourself. It's time to call in your tribe by sharing your soul's voice and letting yourself be seen. When you share what is real and true to you, and you share the medicine that you most need, those who are like you will gather around you. You are your tribe. They are just like you, and just as you are longing and searching for them, they are longing and searching for you too. So work your light activation, hold the card on your heart and say, so you can use this affirmation. I choose now to let myself be seen. I am ready to call in my soul tribe and create a web of light all over the planet. Yes, absolutely. Pound number 2. So yeah, you are being called to move along, move ahead with your path, and to really truly allow yourself to be seen and activate your highest gifts and your highest potential, because I can see that you have many. Right? And you are meant to collaborate with a bunch of souls that are just like you at the soul level, right? You might look very different on the surface, but at the core, very, very similar. You have similar ideologies, you have similar ideas, you have similar beliefs, and that these people are waiting for you just as much as you are waiting for them. The question is, are you ready? Pile number 2, are you going to choose fear, or are you going to choose to move forward with the fear, right? Despite the fear, are you going to choose to move forward? This is the question that you're being called to ask yourself for. Now let's read. The universe is conspiring. Keep facing your true north. Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north and take one step after another. Exactly. That's why I keep seeing the number 1, 2, 3, because you are moving one step at a time right now. Pile number 2. If you do this, you can't go wrong. The universe is conspiring. Don't waver or doubt. Use your heart as a compass and put one foot in front of the other. If you follow the invisible trail of what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. Yeah, you are the light yourself. Point number 2, right? The kind of fame and recognition that comes your way, right? Your deep, deep desire to be seen, it's going to be fulfilled. It's going to satisfy you. But at the same time, right, there are going to be people that are going to misunderstand you, judge you. And that's the thing. Despite all of these judgments, projections, are you still going to put yourself forward? Are you still going to allow yourself to be seen? Right? Most people don't follow the highest call of their soul because they are waiting to see the end destination before they take the first step. If you take one baby step each day, within a year, you will have taken 365 steps in your dedicated direction. If you want to write a book, write a page every day. If you want to change careers, do one thing every day in dedication to that. Before you know it, in just a year from now, you will turn back and look in awe at how far you have journeyed. Keep moving and open yourself up to a whole new level of support and receiving. Things are not going to work out the way you are planning, but if you have a little faith and keep showing up, the key here is to keep showing up despite whatever it is that you are not receiving anything right now, or that you might have a lot of fears along the way, right? They will work out even better than you could possibly imagine. Don't micromanage the universe. Trust your path and let your soul lead the way. Inquiry, work your light inquiry. If you knew you would be supported no matter what would you do? Pile number 2, right? Don't be afraid to leave your comments in the comment section. Okay, like I really want to know if you knew you'd be supported, like truly believing it. Okay, not just saying that yes, I believe it, but do you? What would you actually want to do in this lifetime? What do you actually want to do? Right? Are you going to have that level of perseverance and endurance that I am going to complete this no matter what challenges arose along my way. Like, I'm still going to fight for what's right. I'm still going to move forward. I'm still going to allow myself to be seen. Okay, pile number 2. So yeah, that's all that I have for you today. Pile number 2, and I really, really hope that this reading helped you and it resonated for you, and it just helped you to release those limiting beliefs, okay, and just inspires you to allow yourself to continuously be seen and to put your work forward, and to allow whatever ideas that you might have right now to let your heart guide you, okay, and to allow yourself to continuously move forward despite of all of the challenges and fears that might arise, that might come your way, because this is life, right? You can't avoid all of those fears. But how are we going to choose to continue moving forward? That's our free will. That's our choice. Okay, pile number 2. So thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to read for you. And thank you so much to the universe and your spirit guides for allowing me to read for you. If you're interested, you can like, subscribe, and comment if you want to. And I'm sending you a lot of my love, pile number 2, and I'll see you guys in my next reading. Thank you so much, pile 2. Bye. Hi. Welcome back, pile number 3. So in today's reading, we will be looking at what labels do you need to shed about yourself. So as usual, we will be taking 3 tarot cards, and we will be using the Walk Your Light Oracle to see any final guiding messages for you before we close out this reading, okay? Now, before we get started, please remember that this is a collective reading. Not all messages are going to resonate. Please do not give your power away to me or any other psychics, any other readers out there, okay? You always have the free will to create your own destiny. If you do not like, or your intuition tells you that this is not your power, please listen to it and trust yourself more than anything else, okay? If you feel triggered by the messages that you are receiving, then check out my other piles, or if you resonate with my energy, you can check out my other readings, or you can check out other amazing tarot readers out there. Okay? Now, before we get started, I'm seeing an image of an eye in my mind's eye. And I'm also getting something related to your third eye chakra. So you could be somebody that is very connected to the unseen, the mystic world kind of a thing, right? The spiritual world and all. And I'm also getting a message about the Horus eye. I don't really know what that means, but I've heard, I've seen images of the Horus eye. I think it's related to ancient Egypt and goddess Isis and all. Because I'm not really familiar with this topic, so I'm going to choose not to talk about it. But yeah, something related to the eye. And maybe there is something to do with your third eye chakra. Like I mentioned, right? You are somebody that is very in tune with your own intuition, very in tune with the other worlds, very in tune with the galactic world is what I'm hearing. Star seeds, the other worlds that you possibly are very fascinated by. And your intuition tells you that this is a part of your life purpose. This is a part of your life calling. I'm also getting a message about like how your rational mind, your logical mind might try to push off such things, or you might not want to believe it. You might be a scientist is what I'm getting. You might be somebody that is more logic oriented, or you might be more in tune with your own ego, with your own mind, and you might reject such topics because you don't really see any physical evidence about it. But that's not true, right? Science is actually very connected with the spiritual worlds. Even if I'm not really educated and familiar about science, but I kind of know that science in general is very, very related to what we see out there, like astrology and all. It's all related with one another. Okay, so you are somebody that has a very strong mind, that is very intellectually capable of everything that you see and everything that you believe in, right? Like you are very intellectually just connected to your own mind, your own ego. But at the same time, you also have the other side of you that is also very spiritual, right? And maybe a part of you doesn't really want to admit that, or you don't really want to be connected with it because you are scared, right? You might think that these beliefs might clash with one another, so you kind of choose not to want to believe in the spiritual worlds. But yeah, you might be fascinated by it, but you might not really want to get into too deep of such things because you just identify yourself to be somebody that is very logical, very reliable, right? Like you are somebody that is evidence over everything. Like you need to see things that happens in the reality. You need to see evidence first before you actually believe something. But in the spiritual world, it doesn't really work like this a lot of the times, because sometimes you are not going to get evidence of what you are seeing, right? You are not going to get evidence of what you believe. And the question is, are you still be able to trust in that feeling, trust in that intuition, even if the physical evidence says otherwise, even if other people around you tells you that no, this is wrong or this is right, but some part of you deep down you think that it just doesn't sit right with me, or it did sit right with me and I'm gonna go with that feeling. I'm not gonna go with that feeling, right? So there might be a clash in your own belief systems right now is what I'm getting, because you don't know what to trust anymore, right? You have a fantasy about the supernatural world, but your logic mind is like telling you otherwise. This is why sometimes our mind, our ego can really be a double-edged sword. It can either help us or it can actually destroy us to some extent, right? Like it doesn't really want us to explore the unseen because number one, it's scary, right? It is the unseen world and we don't really get to experience a lot of that, and we don't really get to see that a lot in our daily lives unless you identify yourself as somebody that, not necessarily identify yourself, unless you're able to see ghosts, right? You're able to see things with your physical eye, then yeah, maybe then you really believe it. But other than that, not many of us get to experience that kind of thing. This is why you might just have a clash in your own belief systems with the spiritual world, with the supernatural world, even if you are fascinated by it. Okay, so now let's move on to the tarot portion of the reading. Firstly, we have the Seven of Wands. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. Alright, and we have two cards with the Page of Swords in the reverse and the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Very interesting. Last but not least, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, I'm gonna cover up the World card. So, okay. Oops, hold on. Okay. Ew, shit. Is it in frame? No. Okay. Very good. I'm gonna shift here. Okay. Okay, cool. Hold on. Alright, so we have quite a lot of cards here, which entails to me that there is a lot of clash in your beliefs, because for the other piles we actually have just 3 cards, but for your pile number 3, you have quite a lot of cards. And it shows to me that you kind of need a lot of external validation. You need a lot of things to work out first before you actually believe it, like what I was mentioning, right? Like there's something that, some form of labels and attachment that you need to shed about yourself. Is how you view the world, right? Is that beliefs can clash sometimes, and this is why nuance comes in, right? Are we able to hold space for nuance? Are we able to see things in a very, are we able to still hold our own beliefs to ourselves, but at the same time still be able to hold the new ones that we carry towards ourselves and towards the world. Because beliefs do clash. What you believe in is not necessarily what is going to, you're not going to assume that other people will believe it, right? Just like you yourself, you might try to tell yourself something, you might try to convince yourself of something, but your ego tells you otherwise. It's like, no, I'm not going to go down this path. No, I'm kind of right or wrong about this person because I don't really have any physical evidence that says otherwise, even if deep down, I can kind of sense that your intuition is like telling you these types of things. Recently I was watching this series called The Medalist, and we have Patrick, Jane, and Lisbon. And honestly speaking, it's very interesting because it's a crime evidence related show, right? Something that is more about evidence based. But Patrick, Jane, I love him so much. He's very Mercury coded, but at the same time, he's also very intuitive. He trusts in his own intuition more than anything else, even if there are no physical evidence otherwise, right? Lisbon is more, she doesn't really follow her intuition that much. She only believes in what she sees, right? Which is what we have been told, right? What we have been told is that, you need to see it first before you can actually believe that that's true. Just like how we feel about somebody, like we have a bad feeling about someone. We would immediately dismiss it and say that, I don't think so. This person is like a nice person. This person is like a good person, right? Just like the killers that appear otherwise. They look like a good person. They look like somebody that is very well respected in their field, but they end up to be a serial killer. They end up to be a psychopath. This is why how they look like to others, or how they are, how they present themselves, is nowhere near to who they actually are, right? Even if you have spent years with this person, you don't even know who this person is, right? Like, just because this person is your father, your mother, your family, or this person is your spouse, is your partner, is your best friend. And I gotta say that, sometimes you don't really know them. You really don't. The mask that they put on is so thick that you can't even penetrate through their real self. You can't even see through them. You can't even see through their real self. This is why a lot of us, we get cheated. Right? This is why we get cheated. We get cheated by those people around us, the people that we were close to. And we think that they are a good person, a nice person, just because we have had like multiple interactions with them. That is because not everybody is what they look like. They might look like a good person on the surface, but deep within they are like a sociopath. They're like a psychopath. They go around killing people. This is why you cannot just believe about what somebody presents it to you. Just like what I was mentioning in the beginning about your mindset, about your own belief systems. Just because you don't really see it, it doesn't mean that it's not true. Just like the spiritual world, just like the unseen. I've had at multiple occasions where I experienced a very a really supernatural thing in my own home, and I can't really, my brain cannot really comprehend that. My brain is like telling me like, this is just not true, this is false, right? That is just, you don't need to believe in that shit. But even if I am very into spirituality, but sometimes my brain likes to convince me otherwise. Just like, let's say I get a gut feeling about somebody at first, and then my brain will go on to rationalize everything. That is what that is might be happening to you right now. You might be very drawn to the unseen. You are very fascinated by it, but somehow you just don't really want to believe in it because your ego says otherwise. You are incredibly smart and intelligent. I gotta give it to you, pound number 3, of course. But sometimes the brain can be your biggest enemy. Because what draws you in is actually your calling, is actually your purpose for you to dive deeper into it, for you to understand yourself better, and that to understand that some things cannot be explained. Remember how I was mentioning like science is actually very similar to spirituality, but I also hold nuance to this statement. Why? Because I believe that some things cannot be explained. I also believe that some things, they do not have any physical evidence otherwise. Right? There are some things that cannot be explained in a very logical manner. Because that is what it is with the spiritual world. You believe in it, you believe in it. Otherwise, no amount of explanation can actually make the other person believe it. And this is why sometimes we gotta have to hold nuance to things. Maybe that's the key here about some form of label that you need to share about yourself, is that your ability to hold nuances, and that yes, you might be a scientist, or like yes, you are very intelligent and you are very logical and up in your mind, yes. But you cannot dismiss the fact that there are some things that are out there in this world that cannot be explained, cannot be verified. For example, maybe somebody knows things that they don't really know about. And I want to mention something about Patrick Jane, is that yes, he's very intuitive, but at the same time, he's very in denial of his own gifts. I would say, based on my own personal perspective, okay? It's like he pays attention to quite a lot of details, and he gains a lot of information from those attentiveness. But when he meets a psychic, that's what happened in one of the seasons, how he met quite a lot of psychics. Like, he himself was actually a psychic, but actually he's just a fraud. Why do I put a fraud in? Why do I say that he's a fraud? It's because actually what I see from the show is that he actually has gifts, but he thinks that it's all just from his mind. Like, he doesn't really believe that in this world there are actually psychics. I mean, yeah, this show is like literally filmed on, like, I think 8 years ago, like 7 years ago. At that point in time, these things weren't really they weren't really like popular right now, so to speak, for lack of a better word. And not many people explore that kind of a thing, and honestly there are quite a lot of frauds right in that show. But I would give it to him that he's very intelligent, he's very smart. But I also agree to the fact that even if Patrick Jane, the character in itself, he's very in denial of his own gifts, I would say that he definitely has gifts. It's just he doesn't want to believe that he's psychic. He keeps saying to the victims, when there is a show where the victim or the victim's family believes in the supernatural world, he kept on saying that no, there is no such thing as psychics. If you watch that show, right? Like, he kept denying it. He kept saying that there are no psychics in this world. It's just all about the mind. It's just all about paying attention. And honestly, just me watching this show right now just feels like feels really funny because look at us, right? There are so many psychics and witches and healers and oracles and seers that are resurfacing right now. But back then in that show, they kept denying that there is actually anybody. Like, he kept on denying that there are in fact actually psychics. He doesn't really believe in that shit. He thinks that all of them are a fraud. But what if he's actually psychic? What if he can actually, what if what comes out of his mouth or what he gains from his mind is actually just his way of receiving information from the divine because of his mind, right? So it's a balance of both intuition and your own knowledge. And like I mentioned, he's very intelligent, but at the same time, he kept on denying the fact that there is no such thing as psychics. But I don't believe it coming from myself. I believe that's a combination of both. It's coming from an intelligent mind, your own knowledge, plus your own intuition and your connection to the other world, even if it seems otherwise. Right? I would highly recommend you to watch The Medalist, right, on Prime Video, if I'm not wrong, because it's very interesting. I just started watching. So yeah, I don't know if this makes any sense, but these are the labels they need to shed about yourself, which is your ability to hold nuances, as well as to believe that there are actually other things in this world that is really supernatural, that you cannot really understand it. Just like Patrick James himself, he pays attention to a lot of details. He gains a lot of information just by looking at, just by paying attention to anybody's facial expression, their body language, the way they react to things. But is it really just coming from the mind, or is there really something else that you are connected to? Right? So it's not just only about the mind, it's not only just about the logical mind, but also from your connection to the other worlds. What about some information that you received that I don't even know how this happens, but actually it's just the way, it's your own connection with the supernatural world. Even if you don't actually believe it, but it does happen a lot of the time, just like what I'm doing here right now. You might be really interested, really fascinated, really drawn to it, but somehow you just don't really want to go deeper into it because maybe you are scared. You are scared of what you find out. Or you just think that all of these woo-woo things are just bullshit, or that you think that we are fraud, maybe. So the labels that you need to shed about yourself is your ability to move beyond your mind, to not let your heart guide you, to let your intuition guide you. Right? Just like I was watching a scene yesterday from the same show, Lisbon, the character, Agent Lisbon, she was investigating a case, and she's watching all of these crime suspects, 8 crime suspects. But at a point in time, she didn't have any physical evidence then. And then Patrick Jane told her to use her own intuition to see, right, to match, to balance her intuition with her years of experience in this field. So yeah, it's to go with your gut, trust your intuition. And I know that this can seem really vague, but once you yourself actually experienced it, you already know the answer. But somehow you just kept denying it, or you don't want to face it, or you've just been brainwashed by society that it's all just about the mind, it's all just about logic, there's no such thing as psychic, there's no such thing as witches, there's no such thing as intuition, everything is just about the mind. Whatever information that I get is just from the mind. And yeah, the mind is a part of how we receive the information. But do all of these information actually come from the mind? That's a question that you can self-reflect on. Do all of this information actually come from the mind? Or is there something else that we might be connected to, that the mind is receiving and it comes out of our mouth? It comes out of us. Right? So yeah, I really hope that this kind of made sense. So what I'm trying to express here is to tell you that there are things that are worth researching on, and there are things that are worth experiencing it. And a balance of both would be good, which is balancing your mind, right? Your logical mind and your intuition. Your years of experience with your intuition. And sometimes our intuition, it's helping us, it's guiding us. It's not just all about the mind all the time. It's not just about logic all the time. sometimes the heart can sense something that our mind doesn't even understand, doesn't even comprehend at all. Is to be able to tell you that our intellect, our brain, it is not just all about the logic mind. Right? Like, we are connected to sources that we don't understand. We are connected to sources that are out of reach. And these are the labels that you have to shed, which is to not let your logic mind try to push you out of your own fascination, try to push you out of the supernatural world, because you might be connected to the other worlds more than you actually know. Pile number 3. But sometimes your mind is really the biggest enemy on stopping you from understanding the supernatural world, because it can be your biggest enemy. It doesn't want you to go there because that's what the mind it is. It just wants to keep us stuck in our comfort zone. But if you are really interested in the supernatural world, to the unseen, do your own research, right? Say your own prayers, sitting still in meditation, reading books, getting to understand your own self. I'm sure your answers will come, because your mind is the one that is receiving all of the information, and sometimes the credit comes from something higher than you, a higher power. Sometimes it comes from it, the divine, the unseen. Okay, so yeah, I hope that this message resonated with you, and thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to read for you. Okay, now we will take some final guidance from the Work Your Light oracle. Oopsie, hold on. All right. So yeah, I really hope that I kind of persuaded you, or okay, I don't want to use the word persuaded you. Maybe I kind of convinced you a little bit, right? To help you believe in the unseen more than anything else, all right? I've always believed in things other than myself when I was really, really young. Like, I guess I was just a really very spiritual person. So I believe in all of these things more than anything else, right? Combining with my own logical mind. But for you, pile number 3, you gotta have to be more connected to your own intuition and to your higher chakras, right? Which is your third eye, your crown chakra, your heart chakra, more than just your logic brain. Okay? Oopsie. All right. Let's take some few cards to see spirit that loves pile number 3 unconditionally. What kind of guidance can you help them to shed some form of labels about themselves, spirit? What kind of labels? Oops. Oh, I'm not taking all of these things. Let's take just one card to see what kind of labels, like guidance to help pile number 3 to shed those labels about themselves, spirit. Guidance to help shed those labels about themselves. Let's see. Pile number 3, spirit that loves pile number 3 unconditionally. Okay. Nope. Now I just want to take one card. Spirit that loves pile number 3 unconditionally. What kind of guidance would you like to give to pile number 3? Oops. Okay, we have what lights you up. We have starseed. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have where are you being called to journey to? So, yeah, oh my god. Did I just mention starseed at the very beginning of the reading? Yeah, so we have starseed here. You are connected to a higher power, to something far greater than yourself that you have come from. It's just maybe some of your past life memories, like you could be a scientist in your past lives. Like what I mean by scientist is not actually physically a scientist, but your mind is more towards the logical brain. Your mind is more, you are more connected to your mind more than your heart. Like you are much more logical and yeah, you are much more logical, right? You are somebody that likes to analyze things, like I keep mentioning, you are somebody that wants to see the physical evidence of things before you actually start to believe in something, before you actually start to do something. But that's not necessarily always what happens in the spiritual world, because you don't really get to know all of the information that you are receiving before you actually start believing it. Sometimes you have to believe it first, even for a few years, right? Then you can actually see the results. That is what happens in the spiritual world. Like sometimes time just doesn't really work in the spiritual world, right? What seems short here on earth is actually the best divine timing at the other side, right? So star seed here, we have what lights you up. So you are very connected to the galactic world, right? To just some form of higher power other than yourself, some other than planet Earth. Like you're just very connected to the stars, to star seed, right? Like I was mentioning. And you have a lot of information that wants to come through you. I was picking up on your third eye chakra. So your third eye could be very open, or you are activating a lot of new information from your third eye chakra right now. You are seeing things quite a lot in your mind's eye, maybe in your dreams. Even like I'm picking up on Saturn's energy here, right? Something is coming towards you. Something is it's revealing things to you, things that you cannot really comprehend and understand, right? So the question is, what lights you up? What is it that makes you feel alive? What is it that you hold so tightly to your heart, that you really love it so much, but your mind is just steering you away from your purpose? Your mind is steering you away from your calling, right? Like I mentioned, you could be you are very fascinated by the unseen, but your mind keeps guiding you away, pushing you towards the other direction that is not of the spiritual worlds. And it's time for you to bring that back to you. Bring your heart back to you and let your heart lead the way, rather than just consistently following the mind. Right? The mind is the biggest asset, but depending on how you use it. Because deep down, I'm sure you have your answer. You know what you are drawn to. Don't let your mind fool you or tell you otherwise. Okay? Now, let's read about the star seed card. La 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 la. Okay. What lights you up? Hold on. Yes. Star seeds are souls with a double mission: to raise their own consciousness and the consciousness of the planet. They are all souls who have incarnated elsewhere beyond this planet. Many star seeds arrive with a feeling that time is running out and that there is something that they came here to do or create or contribute. If you pulled this card, it is to confirm that you are a star seed, exactly what I just mentioned. You are very drawn to, you could be a star seed yourself in your past lives. You are being encouraged to answer the call, to follow what lights you up. Once awake, most starseed souls find it hard to have meaningless conversations, jobs, and relationships. They innately know that there is much more to life and feel that there is something more and get to work. They remain restless until they step into their calling, right? It's like you feel like something is off already in you, but why are you still doing what you are doing? It's time maybe for you to evaluate things that are happening in your life right now, right? They remain restless until they step into their calling, which is to light up the world with their unique presence. Star seeds are scattered all over the planet, in hospitals, in schools, in slums and mansions, on stages and in edit suits, in parks and nightclubs, in taxis and theme parks. Many star seeds spend part of their lives trying to fit in or some form of spiritual closet. If you are dimming your light to fit in, it is time that you stop and start embracing the unique light that you came here to share and treat your time on earth like a glorious vacation. Work your light and create what lights you up. It looks like a simple question, but it's actually not an easy question in order for you to be honest with yourself, because sometimes what you believe in, right, you might just have an idea that, oh, do dreams really come true? Do fairy tales really exist? And I'm here to tell you that they do exist. They do. It's just whether or not you really want to believe in it and whether or not you want to work towards it. Okay, So that is all that I have for you today, pile number 3. I really hope that this reading encouraged you to open up your mind, to investigate yourself, and to investigate yourself and to understand yourself and your soul more deeply, and to allow yourself to go through these activations of your third eye, because you are definitely going through an upgrade in your third eye. Like, you are just receiving a lot of information, even from your past lives as well, and even in this lifetime, on what you came here to do, which is you have a calling. You definitely have a calling. Okay, you have a calling to do something that makes you feel alive, that something that lights you up. Okay, pile number 3. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, and thank you so much to the divine and your spirit guides for allowing me to read for you as well. If you are interested, you can like, subscribe, and comment if you want to. And yeah, I'm sending you a lot of love. Thank you so much, pile number 3, and I'll see you guys in my next reading. Bye. Oopsie, accidentally touched it, but bye.